Saquon Barkley tore his ACL week 2 last season, and now there's been a viral video going around of him sprinting and making some cuts, so I figured I would talk about it here on today's show. Barkley is no doubt one of the most talented players in the NFL, not just at the running back position, but literally in the NFL. Recently, he said that he would like to return when my body tells me I'm ready. If there is one thing that I've loved from watching Barkley at the Giants and even from my old days watching him back at Penn State, they don't make people like him. He is an absolute freak athlete. I mean, do you remember when he ended up hurting his ankle? People were like, all right, this guy's done. He ends up trotting back out onto the field, I believe a week or two later, ready to rock and roll. Good news is this. He looks like that he's going to be 100% healthy. He looks like that he's going to be 100% ready to rock and roll for week 1. Probably won't see him in the preseason. If they do, so be it. I would love to be able to watch him. But the important thing is this. The New York Giants get their most important piece to that offense. Now, 2020. Bit of a struggle, right? No doubt about it. But in 2018, 2019, this is where you saw the flashes of just an incredible athlete, not just running between the tackles, but also catching the football. As a rookie, over 1,300 rushing yards, 91 grabs, 721 receiving yards, 15 total touchdowns. In 2019, over 1,000 rushing yards, 52 catches, 438 receiving yards, 8 total touchdowns. That was in 13 games. So the question that I'm going to hit y'all with is this. I love fantasy football, and I don't want to make this a fantasy football question, so don't turn it that way. I want you to just be honest and say, is Saquon Barkley a top 5 running back? I want you to type 5 for yes, or I want you to type 0 for no. I'm going to go ahead and type my 0 for no because he has to be more consistent. He needs to be able to stay on the football field a little bit longer, and when he is out there, he definitely has a lot of those runs that aren't so great. Now, I can also definitely point the finger and say the New York Giants offensive line has definitely let him down. The offensive play calling has definitely let him down. However, if we're talking about just from a talent standpoint alone, that might be a little bit different. So here are my top 10 running backs because I know people are going to be asking me, Mitch, well, if he's not in your top 5, where is he? Well, actually, he's number 6 on my list of my running backs right now, and the only reason why I don't have him in my top 5 is because of the games missed. And you're going to go through a lot of these rankings here, but you can't disagree with me on Derrick Henry. He's literally led the league the last 2 years. I know Christian McCaffrey was hurt, but we've also seen a larger sample size. When it comes to Barkley, I need a larger sample size. And there's nobody that I want to see succeed more in New York than him because he is one of the players that I've absolutely loved watching at Penn State. But from a talent standpoint alone, I actually could make the argument that he is the most talented running back in the entire league. If anybody knows what SPARQ score stands for, it's basically how good an athlete is. Saquon Barkley is in the 99.9% percentile in terms of how good an athlete is for all the running backs that came out in the NFL. This guy is built like an absolute truck. He runs a 4.3. They just don't make people like him. But he needs to be, a little bit more consistent for me to put him in the top 10. But the good news about this video is he's already cutting, he's already sprinting, and he might be in the top 5 real soon. So how many total yards for Barkley next season? As a rookie, he had just an unbelievable year, over 2,000 total yards. A little bit of a down year in 2019. Obviously, 2020 was a little bit of a letdown as well. But if he can play over 16, if he can play 17 games, there is no reason to me in this New York Giants offense that he can't get 2,000 total yards.